doing this together, I mean, to having a builder and a developer together, particularly as brothers, it's a very unique proposition. And it allows us to bring something to the market that there's just nothing comparable. You know, often people say, gee, how did you guys get into this business? It's amazing, really. We grew up on building sites with a father who was a chippy and a builder.
Our dad being what he was, it was the only option for me on the weekend. If you weren't doing anything, you were helping out down the site. It wasn't always a great love, but after a while of getting into it and discovering the possibilities of building and process of it, it just became a great love of mine that we really enjoy today. The innovation that's coming in, that we're seeing, the results of people moving in and enjoying their home, it's been wonderful.
And I think, I think that's really a big thing for us. When we're looking at something, we want to do something beautiful on the landscape that's enduring, and the quality has got to be, it's from hand. I mean, it's from brick. Brick is WA. We use very traditional materials for a reason.
We want longevity built into these places. The architects provide beautiful vision and home economics and ergonomics for people to live in. And we're really there to make sure that they stand the test of time.
It's interesting when people talk to us about brick and why do you choose to build in brick. You know, one of our brickies said the other day, the only thing standing from the ancient Roman and Greek times is the arch brickways and so on.
Exactly. So we've got these wonderful traditional bricks that have got great track records, the durability, you can't question it.
But we use them in new ways and
innovative ways where architects are finding applications for brick and patterns in brickwork that we've just not seen before. And it provides a beautiful tapestry. Like in nature, the different colours you get through the bricks and the different types of bricks that we're seeing and different joints between the brickwork all adds up to a wonderful tapestry. You go back and look at buildings after a while and think, wow, I'd almost forgotten that we put that detail in there.
Yes, that's right. You know, we're using an engineered timber floor, but that's designed to be resanded if you get damaged. It's not, you damage it and it's out. It's through the wool carpets. We want to use just sustainable, good product and quality.
And it is a lot better for people with allergies, asthma, different things that we're seeing. All our paints are low volatile organic compound paints. Most of them are water-based.
You talk about the performance of a building, but there's nothing more important than the health performance of the occupant. You're going to feel good living there, basically. Yeah. And we consider every element of the building in its life cycle, and I guess that starts on the sites.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a very vigorous waste stream because it's a huge cost to get rid of waste and to transport it on, and where does it go? And everyone's seen the tips, so we aim for that 80 to 90% of waste recycling and upcycling. So if we can really aim for the stars there, it's going to be better for everyone. Talking about reducing carbon footprint, the concrete gets a bit of a hard time because it does create some carbon in its production. So what we actually do is take out the general Portland cement out of the concrete. We replace it with blast furnace slag, which is a waste product from steel production, up to 65%, which reduces the hydration and heat give off during the concrete curing process. And that really takes that carbon footprint back to a much more sustainable level, coupled with the fact that it just lasts forever. You're never going to need to replace it, repair it. Its best green credential is that enduring aspect.
We live in one of the harshest environments in the world here.
Edge of the desert.
We give a lot of consideration to light and people not having to use lighting all of the time. Of course, we should be capturing the sun for energy, and that's what we do with the solar panels on the roofs. We use those to power all the common areas as best you can. It starts with the design principles in terms of your considerations around where the sun loads are hitting the buildings. Having availability of natural light is a big part of it.
And this is where advancements have been wonderful in architectural modelling. They know exactly where the sun's going to be on a particular time, on a particular day of the year.
Yeah.
Australia is such a harsh landscape. How do you soften it? And plants reduce a great thermal load.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an insulator. So all outside areas have some sort of shading that mitigate those negative parts from outside solar, which is thermal gain.
The thermal performance of the buildings is super important to us, and there's the thermal considerations, but there's also the acoustic considerations, looking at minimising operating costs around air conditioning units.
And the biggest thermal leakage we get in a brick building is between the end of the frame and the brickwork. So we're filling that cavity under pressure with a granulated insulation that comes up snugly up to your frame. So there's no thermal leakage.
And that gives you both thermal improvement but also huge acoustic benefit.
There's two parts to that. There's the VLAN hush that we use, which is wonderful acoustically. Then there's a low E glass that reduces the heat load. You can combine those into a single panel.
And that's what we're doing now.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. There's all the unseens that really build the quality outcome. I think a big thing, you know, when you talk about the slabs we use, they're 3 courses high every time.
We've got a generous 257 slab, sometimes 300 thick. It's really good. And that attenuates the noise inter-apartment. So if you've got 3-course concrete slab there, you've got very little chance of that noise. That already exceeds any acoustic requirement we have. We improve on that with acoustic underlay underneath the timber flooring.
And you know, that's one of those things people don't realise. That's a feeling you get when you walk into somewhere high quality. You get it in beautiful hotels, don't you? Where you walk into a room and you don't even know what the feeling is, but it's a calmness, there's a silence. And that only comes from a proper acoustic consideration. So
Exactly.
I think with EV cars, obviously we're seeing a big take up. We've got, you know, we'd love to see people moving away from cars, but at the same time, we're absolutely aware WA, it's a car-centric city.
Yeah.
We've got EV charging availability in each building, and certainly you can procure it as an addition in up to 50% of the car bays that we offer. And if you do have an EV, you can have an EV.
Yeah. We've seen huge advancements in car stackers. That allows us, as you know, to vertically stack 3 cars where once upon a time you would have had to have those 3 cars spread out on a floor plate. Whereas now we can reduce the built area and you're giving back that space to the people.
And I think too, you touched on a great point, the efficiency of stackers. You drive straight in, it's much simpler to manoeuvre in. Your car is absolutely secure once it's in that stacker, and we'll be doing them in every building from now on.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
I
the
think
way
it's
to go.
right.
I think when you're buying off the plan, people wonder, you know, what does happen to the deposit? And the deposit is held in a Lavin Legal trust account. It doesn't get used to build the building.
It's only accessible by the deposit payer,
Yeah.
by the purchaser. No one else can access that data.
We fund our projects through either Commonwealth Bank or one of the other major banks. Your deposit is held in trust pending completion and when you can walk through the apartment and be given the title to your property. You're buying with certainty at today's prices with no more to pay until you finish at settlement. So you've secured today's price for something that's going to complete in 2 years. There's no other way you can build in the world that I know of that you can do that. That's a very unique thing in Australia.
With the apartments, there, you've got an inbuilt community. There's people you can walk outside, you're chatting to a friend. You've always allowed pets in the apartment buildings, and there's doggy washers, dog doors.
Yeah.
And it's like having a cup of coffee down at the coffee shop downstairs. That creates a great community in the building. And you see young people out the front having a swim, someone's having a barbecue there. People are using it. It's not dead space, and they're creating their own little community. And it's just nice to see. It's like its own little something.